knows by now, Billy Joe Saunders has signed with Matchroom Boxing. Um, I just got through watching the press conference this morning. Eddie Hearn and Billy Joe Saunders were talking about the deal, and I think this is a fabulous move. I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. This is definitely a power move for Matchroom. This just adds to the great potential matchups that could be made now at middleweight and super middleweight. Billy Joe Saunders is a fabulous addition to Matchroom Sport and the Zone because now it goes without saying. Now we have all of these potential matchups that could be made. We have Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo Alvarez. We have Billy Joe Saunders versus Callum Smith. We have Billy Joe Saunders versus Gennady Golovkin, Danny Jacobs, Demetrius Andrade. Um, and Billy Joe Saunders is the WBO super middleweight champion. So Canelo may decide he wants to get the super middleweight title, not just the WBA regular title, but the WBO, super middleweight title. That would be a fabulous matchup. It'd be an interesting matchup. Demetrius Andrade, who's a WBO middleweight champion. Billy Joe Saunders has unfinished business with Demetrius Andrade. That would be a phenomenal, phenomenal move. Um, this just made sense for Billy Joe Saunders, and more fighters, I think, should think like Billy Joe Saunders did in this situation. Like we got to look ahead to the future. Where are all the potential big fights going to be for me? Like Terrence Crawford, for instance. I know he's got a good deal financially for himself, but because of him being over at Top Rank, look at all of the fights that can't be made now because of the network problems, the negotiation problems, the different promoters. The term being used that he's on the other side of the street. I mean, it doesn't make it impossible to make fights with like Errol Spence or guys over at the PBC, but it makes it more difficult. Billy Joe Saunders being with Matchroom, being over at the Zone now, it makes it so much easier for all of these potential big matchups to be made. And Billy Joe Saunders came out and said, obviously the money's great, but I'm here to prove I'm the best. So that was very encouraging. This was a very, very humble Billy Joe Saunders. He was giving all of the fighters that he was talking about that he could potentially fight. He was giving them all credit. This wasn't the usual brash Billy Joe Saunders. This was a very humble Billy Joe Saunders who looked like he was just very happy and at peace with himself now that he knows that he's got a good future ahead of him, because it's going to be almost impossible for him to not be in a good matchup now. And he seems very willing and able to fight any of these guys on the Zone at 160 and 168. I'm curious to see what would be the first matchup out of the gate for him. I know he talked about Golovkin a lot, but I have a feeling Golovkin would probably try to avoid that fight, not because he's afraid of Billy Joe Saunders, but I think he realizes, and maybe his team would realize, that would be a horrible style matchup for him. And I would definitely pick Billy Joe Saunders in that fight. I think Billy Joe Saunders would have a good shot to beat Canelo Alvarez too. I think that would be a phenomenal, phenomenal fight because Billy Joe Saunders has such a great pair of legs, and even he mentioned that he could do similar things to Canelo Alvarez that Iruslandi Lara did. So I see that fight being very similar to that, and even more so, Billy Joe Saunders is much bigger than Demetrius Andrade, has a longer reach, so I think he could even have more success against Canelo Alvarez. Um, from a stylistic standpoint, the most interesting fight, I believe, for Billy Joe Saunders out there on with the Zone stable, I think is Demetrius Andrade. You have two southpaws who can counterpunch, who both move very well, who are both very quick. But you have Andrade, who's even taller and longer than Saunders. That would be interesting to see if the size would play a factor on that matchup, because they're so closely comparable in all of the other areas that would be a total chess match that I would love to see. So I think this is a great move. I'm excited about it. I think this actually makes Matchroom stronger. I think it gives them another player in boxing, and I just think that it opens up the door for a lot of great fights at 160 and 168. So what do you guys think? Are you guys excited? You guys happy about this match, this signing? Are you happy about all these matchups that could be made? Um, what are your thoughts out there on this deal? And are you surprised that Billy Joe Saunders left BT Sport and Frank Warren? I mean, from a business standpoint, I think this makes more sense for Billy Joe Saunders. I think that this gives him an opportunity to be in bigger fights and make more money. I think this is good for boxing all around. I agree, JC. I think this is a great, great power move, and I just think this is fabulous. And I was excited to hear about this. I was excited to see Billy Joe Saunders show the enthusiasm to want to go out there and fight the best. So I think he realizes that he's at a point in his career where he's at his prime and he wants to fight these guys now before it's too late. I mean, Golovkin was in some good fights, but he didn't start getting like really big fights, like from a competitive standpoint, like until later in his career when he fought Jacobs and when he fought Canelo twice. So you could say that maybe it took a long time for him to get to that level to fight those guys, and because of that, maybe he wasn't 100% at his best. Billy Joe Saunders is trying to get these guys in the ring now while he's in his prime, instead of him being on the other side of his career. So I think this is a great move for Billy Joe Saunders, I have a feeling that he's going to try and get that Golovkin fight next. I just don't see Golovkin taking that fight. I think Golovkin would lose to Billy Joe Saunders. I think Billy Joe Saunders would box his ears off, to be perfectly honest with you. Um, I see the Canelo fight definitely being a possibility. Canelo has shown that he wants to challenge himself, and in my opinion, Canelo's got the best resume in the sport of boxing right now. And I would see him welcoming the challenge of Billy Joe Saunders, and he could add another title to his collection if he fought Billy Joe Saunders. So I think that would be a great move. So that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, I just wanted to get other people's thoughts on this, but I just wanted to say that I give my opinion on it and say that I think this is a fabulous move, and I think that this is going to spice up the world of boxing. I think this is going to give us the opportunity to see a lot of great fights. John Doe says he's fighting a random bum in October, November, like Fury does. Welcome to Matchroom fight. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know who his next opponent is going to be, so I can't, make any comments on that just yet until I see what happens. But yeah, I'm excited about this. I think this is a great move. We got to give credit where credit is due. This is definitely a power move from Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Sport. And I'm very excited about this signing, man. I'm very excited about this signing. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I just thought I would bang out a quick video and talk about it and see what everyone else is thinking about this signing, because this is a power move, man. This is a power move, and I think this just spices everything up, man. All right, I'm out. I'll probably jump on later today if I can come up with something else to talk about. I'm sure there'll be more breaking news later in the day, but I just wanted to talk about this, get everyone's opinion, and have a dialogue about this and see what everyone else is thinking and see if everyone else is as happy with this move as I am. All right, Beaver's out until next time. Thank you so much for joining me, and catch you next time. Have a great day.